What it do, y'all? This your boy King Ed the Great coming at y'all with another video. So I was looking at this film called Harder They Fall, which is pretty dope. I like the fact that black people are branching out into more creative and different roles, but I still feel there's a way to go. I feel that there's a lot of problems going on with black cinema. One of the main problems that I feel that is going on is there's a lot of lazy writing. It's a lot of lazy writing. And the fact that the era of the sitcoms are done. Because look at how comedy changed. Sitcoms used to make stars. We're talking Martin, Living Single. We talking Seinfeld. We talking the Cosbys, Family Matters. That was the origin of comedy when it comes to black people. We used to love our sitcoms. Technology came and changed that, so you don't really have nothing to really laugh about. There's not really not many sitcoms out there. So that also cut the legs of a lot of supporting cast members. Like we all know Tommy and Cole from Martin. They all played a role. So now you cut that leg off. Then another thing too, you got too many remakes. I didn't like the Superfly remake. It didn't really need remaking. The difference between the OG and this, what I liked about the original Superfly was it gave in a character build. It gave in depth to who Priest really was. This guy here, it seemed like he was just playing a role. He was just playing a character. We ain't really get to know Priest. So here's another thing too, and this might get a lot of people upset, but you got too many exclusivity blacks, meaning the neoliberals. You got gays and you got white women. Or women for that matter. They're the ones that's really taking charge of a lot of the writing for the most part when it comes to a lot of films and a lot of black related shows. Just like the show Dear White People. And you notice this. This is what I also noticed, and I don't like this at all. Notice how crime films are the only films where black men are being able to show masculinity. It's only crime films. It's only pimp films. I want to see more films portraying more black men in a different light. Like I want to see more characters like how Tupac played Lucky. Because look who Lucky was. Lucky was a mailman. He wasn't a dope man. He was a mailman that was trying to get his cousin on. He took care of his daughter. He was a blue-collar worker. And the same thing with Alan Payne's character, Jason. He was a blue-collar worker, 9-to-5 guy who sold TVs, who loved his family, he loved his woman. Same with even Lorenz Tate's character in Love Jones. Like, we don't have to be dope dealers and pimps to really show masculinity. And I'm thinking that's what a lot of people that's coming into this generation getting these jobs, that's their only exposure to black culture. Like, that's the only thing they see as fly, and they want to maximize that. That's their only experience in dealing with black people is through hip hop, really. And they see what's selling with the music, so that's the only characters that they want to paint with that brush. But that's some of the main problems that we're having with black cinema, because to have masculinity being told through the eyes of white liberals and exclusivity blacks, that's what's really hurting us. And you notice this, and I said this before, in white film, just like the show Sex Life, notice the guy Brad was the masculine one. Even Pike, the black woman. He had the dude's dude's wife sprung. He was the masculine one. You couldn't really portray black men in that light like that. Like, that's another thing that I see going on. They never want to portray black men as bachelors or players for that matter, like real players. I'm not talking goofy stuff. I'm talking about like Boomerang. You know how Boomerang was a real fly movie. We had that in the 90s. Boomerang was one of the flyest movies ever made. Coming to America was one of the flyest movies ever made. Now, you could say Black Panther. Black Panther was pretty good. But there's still some ways to go. So, that was just something that came to mind about black cinema. And another thing that I think that's changing is the fact that these films today are operating through the IP. See, it's not the IPs are getting paid more than the actors. So that's why you're competing with streaming, and therefore it's easy to get lost in the shuffle because you also deal with audiences today that they can't even digest 2-hour movies. Their attention span is so everywhere, they can't digest that. So they just churn out movies left and right for profit, not even with no promo. And that's real talk because the key with the IPs, they sell more than the actors. Why you think in 2021 people want to see a movie that's attached to some IP? And it's the only big actors who come to mind when thinking strong black lead and can sell movies like that is Denzel and Elvis Elba. You could probably say The Rock, but The Rock, he could pass for white as well. He could pass for white. But, and big shout out to the Collie for that one. I was reading some of that about the IPs. I want to give y'all some game about that. But let me know what you guys think. Because this brother here made a point here. He said, just like I said, whites, gays, and females are making so-called black movies or the movie is hijacked to fit an agenda and are very stereotypical for white eyes because that's their new fetish, black culture. That's the truth. That's a part of what I was building on. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Like, what do you see as the problem with black films? Let me know, holla.